What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the overview. I've got another guest with me. That's what this channel is all about. It's about extending the platform to people that I like working with, as well as people around the world. But we've got Nicky from West Ham Fan TV, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, Flex. You?
Yeah, I'm goodish. Everyone has messaged me and talking. Even you said it before we went, because you must be happy, and it's like, yeah, but no, but yeah, but no. Do you know what I mean? It's the little Britain thing. Yeah, but no, but there's a lot to go. There's a lot to go, which we'll get into.
It's a bittersweet thing, isn't it? Especially when you want your football club to progress, because you've got to lose to sack him to go on. Do you know what I mean? So you always got conflicted emotions, always.
Exactly. That's the best way of putting it, Nick. Conflicted emotions, to be honest with you. I always knew Solskjaer was going to get sacked, and I wasn't surprised to see it. But no one wants to see him really upset like that. It had to happen, but it's collateral, isn't it? This is football. This is the business. He was the manager, and he wasn't good enough. But this is the show where we get into all of that good stuff. Apparently, Pochettino wants to come to Manchester United now. There's talks of him maybe actually downing tools at PSG to make that move happen. Who knows? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, your boys took a loss to Wolves, but they have been flying this season. We'll get into that. Liverpool smashed Arsenal. Want to talk about that. Chelsea just cruise control, put the nail in, well, I won't say nail in the coffin at Leicester, but added more problems at Leicester with Brendan Rodgers, and a lot more to get into. But obviously got to start at Man United. Nick, as an outsider looking in, if I was to say to you Pochettino from Man United, what would your thoughts be?
It's got to be, isn't it? I think he's a top manager. I think he wanted that job long time ago, if I'm quite honest with you. I think when he left Tottenham, the job would have been available, he'd have took it. Maybe even when he was with Tottenham, he would have took it. Just perfect fit. I think United are a long time admirers of him as well. I think PSG is always going to have a tough time. They want to win the Champions League, and no matter how big the manager is, because of the amount of money they've got, they'll just keep on rotating. So he's living on a knife's edge there. He's got to win the Champions League to keep his job. So when United come, he's going to look at the players there. He's going to look at what the players that he's got, and he's going to sit there and think, I probably can do something with this squad, and I can make United something like he's done with Tottenham. And it's just perfect fit for Man United. Perfect.
Yeah, I do feel that there's a lot with Pochettino. I think the fact that he left Spurs in that manner and then went to a club like PSG, people forget that he's a good manager. People forget the hard work that he done at Spurs. I knew Spurs fans would tell you they didn't even want him to leave. They thought they should have stuck it out and tried to give him the chance to turn it around.
Yeah.
And then look how it ended up for them. Getting Jose, getting Nuno didn't work, and now they are where they are. So for me, would I take Pochettino? Yes. People say he hasn't won anything. He hasn't this. Look, if he stays at PSG, he's going to win the league. But what does it really say? I think you just got to look at the squad that we've got. I think he fits Man United. If Man United wanted Zinedine Zidane, they would have got him already. Or if Zinedine Zidane wanted Man United, he would have been there already. That hasn't happened as of yet. I just don't think it fits. They clearly didn't want Antonio Conte, didn't want to pull the plug on Oli then. So yeah, I see it as Pochettino would be good, and it's interesting to hear all this noise about. He could just walk. He could say, you know what, I won't wait till the end of the season. Could you see that happening, Nick? I mean, he's whatever points. He's a big way clear in Liga. Going to win the league, yes. Obviously not guaranteed to win the Champions League. They've got City on Wednesday. Could you see Poch going? Do you know what? It's too big of an opportunity just to wait. I want to get back. I'm going to go.
I think so. And it's as I said, I think it all ties into this job don't come around that often, and the timing with him leaving Tottenham before just wasn't right. I think he was being touted for the United job for a while. So when it comes up, you've got to take it, because you never know when it might come back up. And as I say, it's one of these things where, as I said, he could be sacked by PSG, but by that time United will have a manager. it's it's always staggering things. So yeah, I reckon he could. I reckon he could just turn around and go, look, let me go, get someone else.
I'll just some breaking news, Nick. Which is this is the brilliance of going live. There's some breaking news that Sky Sports are reporting, and this is that Ed Woodward could delay his departure to help appoint a new manager.
Yeah. I've seen that. Which I find. I've been reading a lot about Woodward actually this morning, and he says he could delay his departure because he's meant to be retiring, wasn't he? Over this.
Yeah, he was supposed to be leaving. Yeah, end of the year.
Apparently, he's still a big influence in the boardroom. He's pulling the strings and was instrumental in getting Ollie removed. Maybe he's just playing lip service. Maybe this is one of them things where he can try to justify himself being there because his position become untenable, and maybe it's just one of them things that he's hoping maybe they'll forget if I delay it, saying we've got to sort this manager situation out. Maybe they'll forget, but I don't know.
It's a weird, from a Man United point of view. I mean, a lot of fans will take this negatively, and my initial thing is here we go again, because look, the thing that I'm thinking is Ed Woodward has been at the forefront of the decision making for a while now, where to the point where he's foreseen a lot of the shits that's happened and made them decisions. Under his watch, we failed under Van Gaal, we failed under Moyes, we failed under Mourinho, we failed under Ollie. And here he is. And then after the Super League farce, he said, here's my resignation. I'm off. Like, it's got to change. And now it's like he's going to be there to help with more decisions. And it's like, well, you've got 5 wrong or 4 wrong. It doesn't really from inside the club. I can see what they're basically saying. There's a lot going on here. We need some sort of constant. Can you just help us before you leave the door? And if his last thing is to bring in Pochettino, then it would be the right decision. So, and it was the right decision to sack Ollie. But that will rile fans up because, I can see why from a business point of view and from running the football club point of view in a moment of absolute chaos that he needs to stay and help. But for me and a lot of United fans, it's like, really? Like, even when you're supposed to go, it's like you've made bad decisions and now you get to stay. Your reward for that is getting to stay and make arguably the biggest decision yet, after sacking Ollie. So, honestly, what do you make of, Carrick's got to take the reins? It's the same backroom staff for a few games until they get an interim or to the end of the season, or maybe still Poch?
It's a stopgap, isn't it? He knows the club. You got to give it to someone. I heard it might have been Darren Fletcher, but then Carrick's name come up, and it's just a stopgap. And that this is sort of wasn't quite the same, but sort of what happened with Ollie, wasn't it? He took over temporarily, and then they decided that he'd done well enough to give him a job. So hopefully, you're not going to give another really inexperienced manager like Michael Carrick a job after if he does well. But it happens at every club. He'll do okay, Michael Carrick. I think he knows the club long. He's been there long enough to know, what needs to be done. Sorry.
So the thing with the Carrick situation is that he's been part of the regime under Ollie. Do you know what I mean? And he's the one on the training field with McKenna, and a lot of Man United fans would say, what's going on in training? There's clearly not. And it's like, well, those training sessions are going to be the same. Like, I honestly think, you remember when Arsenal sacked Unai Emery, right? And then they obviously put Lingard in there maybe they wanted to do it to the end of the season, but it got so bad, it couldn't. He was out of his depth, bless him. I honestly fear that something similar could happen. Because I don't see how we start playing. I don't see it. But
you get to make the decisions then, don't you? You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, when you're working for someone and you're the backroom staff for someone, you've got to take direction from Ollie, And, from what I can see, I don't know whether it's training and all that. There's obviously something going on there. There's obviously some sort of discontent in the changing room or whatever, because the players are just not playing. They're just not playing. You can tell they're just not turning up. And you can't have, some world-class superstars like Varane and Ronaldo and all that just not turning up. It just doesn't happen like that. Something's going on there. So if Ollie's the problem, if they've just lost faith in him, it happens. You know what I mean? Like you just lose faith in someone and you think, oh, what's the point? You know what I mean? And the substitutions and all this sort of thing. But maybe Michael can get a grip. And there's always that sort of bounce, isn't there, when something's going to change and you've got to repress someone new and all that sort of thing. So hopefully he can start getting a tune out of some of them until someone comes in.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it just does. That's what I mean about when, obviously, from the outside, you're saying, "Oh, I bet you're happy," in terms of like now there's going to be the change and stuff. But I think every Man United every United fan, or sensible one anyway, will know that it isn't this as easy as getting rid of Ollie and now we'll be all right again. New manager bounce, because there is no new manager really at the moment, and the people who have to take the reins are the very same people who have put us in this mess already, if you get what I mean. So it's hard.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But in the mess that we're in, under the mess that we're in, because of the bad decisions that the board made of not having a plan, and we do have to go with Carrick and that. We do, because who else are you gonna? Do you know what I mean? For the next 3 or 4 games, you have to. There's nobody else. There's nobody else.
Sam Allardyce or someone in, who'd rather have Michael Carrick, right?
Exactly. And just quickly on the game, Nick, your internet connection's gone a bit bad. Hopefully it comes back in a sec. Yeah, that's all right. On the game against Watford, with you sort of goals and just how they demolished us, how good Watford were and how poor we was. What did you make of it? What you saw?
It just looked like a team that had give up. As soon as from the penalty, the 2 chances at the penalty, then to the goal, and Watford would get. I mean, they're picking up Watford. They're not.
They are.
No games is in the Premier League, but that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. The way they was getting in behind, and Sarr's a tricky player, but it looked like shambles. It did. It looked like shambles at times. Even before Maguire got sent off, it looked shambolic. And I've seen that's not the first time I've seen that. There was a couple of weeks ago against Manchester United and all that. That's what needs to be done. That needs to be organised big time, massively. That defence, because they are all over the shop at times. And obviously Ollie was a great attacking mind. Maybe he just didn't have the defensive mind, but that needs to be sorted out. Like, that's the first thing you should be doing, is sorting that defence out, because at times it looks Sunday League.
Awful. It literally calamitous, and it's been like that for a while now. Yeah.
It's just, you can't have that level of play. Maguire, no matter what, he's not one of my favourite players. You know what I mean? But he's a good player. We know he can play well. Varane is a world-class player. Luke Shaw's a good player. Wan-Bissaka's a good player. The goalkeeper's a good player. There's something going on there. It's not organised enough. There's obviously got a few more defenders in there as well. It shouldn't be like that. So that's what you need to be doing. You need to be shoring up that defence. Sure, the defence has got the attacking players to win any game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Raz has come through, and I did want to ask you about this. What does a West Ham fan think of the Lingard situation? Before that Watford game, a lot of Man United fans were fuming with Lingard because he reposted. I think you guys done a post on your Instagram, and then the next swipe was the goal that he scored against Wolves last year, which was a very, very good goal. But he reposted it onto his story in West Ham colours, doing that. Some people saying Ollie, didn't treat him well. Fair play to him. He wants to leave. It shows what a mess we are. Other people saying, yeah, we might be a mess, but that's a bit out of order. Obviously, Declan Rice was giving it the eyes in the comments, and it rubbed the United fans up the wrong way. But from a West Ham perspective, which is brilliant to get. Now you're here. Can you see him coming to you in January? Are West Ham, from what trying to get him in January? Newcastle have been mentioned as well.
Yes.
But now the manager's changed. Do you think it'll change again?
Yeah, I do. I think he'll be with us January.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I've heard a couple of rumours flying around that he really does fancy it. He enjoyed himself here last year, and I don't think that's, you know, obviously that's not ideal. You know, he's been with Manchester United a long time, but I also spoke to people that worked with him last year, and they told me he was United through and through, even when he was here. You know what I mean?
He is. He'll always be. Yeah.
He was doing things like they was picking things. I'll tell you a story. I won't mention who it was, but
yeah,
YouTuber. He got a tattoo, and he done a tattoo for him, and he wanted to pick up the black gloves, and he said, "No, I'm going to use the red ones." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to use the red ones for United boy, aren't I?" And you know, it was that. So you know, it's United through and through. So it's going to be, you know, tough for him, Jesse Lingard. But at this stage of his career, with the England situation, the World Cup coming up next year, he needs to leave. He needs to play. Not needs to leave. He needs to play. And if he can't get reassurances of getting play time, and I was saying that the next manager, there's players there that are going to be higher on the list than Jesse Lingard. You know, they're going to be told, you know, get a tune out of Jadon Sancho, you know, get a tune out of Rashford, get a tune out of Greenwood, even Martial. It cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think that Lingard's going to be lower down on the list, and I think his best full part is, to be quite honest with you.
I agree. The thing that, I mean, KG, in typical KG fashion, was fuming with Lingard. He's like, "What's good? He shouldn't be doing that. I don't care." Because I was so done at that point, you know, just pissed off with everything. I was like, "What do you expect? The club's a mess. You've got players coming out and doing this. It shows the discontent." He was told, you know, he'd be playing games. You know, he had a really good preseason, and we were shocked, staggered that he did not go to West Ham in the summer. So I thought, wow, they've got to play him then. And it was almost like, you know, he's getting overlooked every game, not even coming off the bench. And it's like, of course he's going to be pissed off. Yes, do I think he should have reposted that? No, I think it's going to rub people up the wrong way. But I can see his frustration. And I've always said, as a United fan, and because I know he's United through and through, every United fan loves Jesse and what he means to the club. And he's given us some great moments. He's won some stuff here. He deserves to go and play football. And if he ain't going to do that with us, let him go to West Ham.
I think there's times as well. I see Instagram stories of or videos of United fans really digging him out while he's warming up, and you know,
that was stupid.
Frustrated that you're losing, but the boy ain't playing, and he hasn't played all season. What can
they were digging him out, and he was like, "I'm not even on the pitch." That's what his point was.
That's exactly what he said.
They were like, "Try harder, Jesse." You know, that mad football fan is just so out of touch with what's actually going. You're just angry. Try harder, Jesse. Mate, I'm warming up with a bib on, mate. Like,
and to be fair, he's getting that abuse. He's not playing. We loved him at West Ham.
Yeah, it was refreshing to see. I have to say, Nick, as a United fan, when I saw him, I can speak for myself, but I know a lot of United fans will echo this. When we saw him, just so happy, dancing around, doing his celebration. He was with Declan Rice in his social media. He just looked so happy again. So happy.
Yeah.
At home, yeah. And it was sad to see, but happy to see, because at the end of the day, just want the guy to go and play football. You know what I mean? He's done his time at Man United. There's players ahead of him now. If he was called upon to put in some performances, he probably could do it, but he's not even getting a chance to. So at this stage of his career, don't begrudge him. So, but to finish off on United before we move on, you think you boys will go in for him in January and get it done?
I think he'll be a West Ham player at the end of January.
Loan again, or you think permanent?
No, I'll buy. We'll buy him this time.
Yeah. I hope you do. I hope you do, because you know it's not going to work out. So a little bit of an inside scoop there from Nick. So that's brilliant. Arsenal. Actually, no. Let's not do Arsenal. Let's do your boys actually, because now I've got you. Because I didn't go last week. Yeah. Well, last week I did want to get you on then, but we couldn't do it. You know, obviously just beating Liverpool for your last game. Sorry. West Ham. I mean, look, you're still having a good season. You're not going to win every game. You're still fourth right now. Wow. Arsenal lost as well. So you know, how do you see it? I lost to Wolves, but how are you seeing you boys right now?
Brilliant. We're brilliant. We was poor weekend. We was poor. But the thing is, Flex, as a football fan, and I've always said this, I can forgive lack of talent. I can't forgive lack of hard work. and that's with every player that I've ever watched. You know, when I watch players, you know, if they're not the best player in the world, but they're giving their all, you know, I'll get behind that. You know, as a West Ham fan, and I can't say that any player in our side that gives less than his all every game. You know, they're trying their hardest, and I can't. And Saturday we just got beaten by the better side. They wanted it a little bit more than us. The fans were right behind them, but we'll come back. We'll come back from this, and this is what is good about West Ham now. We learn from these games, and we go away and we work on what was bad. We had a couple of things that were, you know, nothing really dropped for us. Mikel Antonio come back from Jamaica. I think he was a bit jet lagged a couple of days before. I think Rice had the flu the week before, so he weren't tip top of his game. We've got the Bonner injury. But it is what it is, mate. You lose games. You know, I can't. I'd be a fool if I sat here and started saying, "Oh, it's, you know, they weren't good enough, and this ain't good enough, and that ain't good enough," because they've given me more joy this season than last season than I've had for a long time as a West Ham fan. And I truly believe there's something, you know, good happening at the club, and long may it continue, mate. You know, I'll take a loss to Wolves. A 1-0 loss to Wolves is no. Somebody saying in the comments there, reality check. We're winning reality, mate. We're just Friday night. We're waiting for it all to hit. But, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just enjoying it, mate. Just enjoying it. Enjoying watching it. And it don't work one week. We know that we're going to go to City and at least give it a go. That's all I can ask.
Well, that's what I was going to say, though, because you look at your next run of games, City away, Brighton at home, and then was it Chelsea as well? You know, there's no easy games there. Like you said, in the Prem, there are no easy games. But even that little run there, and obviously Rapid Vienna next in the Europa League. But do you think that, like you said, you can get back to winning ways in some of them fixtures there? Like, obviously, it's going to be tough going away to City on any day. But
we showed against Liverpool last week. We give them a game. We'll give anyone a game. You know what I mean? Like, we can go to City next week and give them a game. It's going to be tough. And I'm not expecting a result, but we can. We're capable of doing it. The same with Brighton, the same with Chelsea. We can give these teams a game. And as I say, if we come out of it, all of these games with no points, as long as we give it a go, I really don't care, Flex. You know what I mean? Like, West Ham. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think United fans looking in, everyone's been impressed with West Ham. David Moyes, you know, I think he's done so well to rebuild his reputation. Because
I see a rumour last night that they was looking at him as a manager for Manchester United, and we've rebuffed it and all of that sort of thing.
interim. David Moyes an interim.
Listen, they'll come back in for him, and I think there'd be murders on the streets, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I don't think the club would do something like that. And you know what? If they did come in I don't even think they should insult David Moyes by asking him to come back for an interim. He's done a fantastic job at West Ham. Well, yeah, true. You did actually, and it didn't go well when he came back for that little period.
Yeah.
You know, but I think with where he's at now with you lot, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see, and you know, he took a lot of flack and needed to rebuild his reputation. Didn't go well at Sociedad. Didn't go well at West Ham back again.
No.
So you know, he had a lot to do. He had a lot to do. So well done to him. He's done what a lot thought he couldn't do, including probably a lot of your fan base as well, I suppose. Probably never imagined it would be this good. Red Baron says, just want to say bankers are the only class of people that can fail upwards. That's why United are run crap, but they get bonuses. Yeah, obviously with the Woodward situation. I get what you're saying there. Arsenal, Liverpool. Arsenal, you know, 10 unbeaten going into that game. It wasn't, look, the scoreline, look, they got their asses handed to them in the end. But it wasn't all bad. There were moments of the game where Liverpool looked a bit out of ideas, looked like it wasn't going to go their way, and you know, Arsenal showing you know why they're doing so well. And then it all came crumbling down with, you know, mistakes as well from players. And when you start doing that against Liverpool at Anfield, it's only going to end one way. But what did you make of that game?
I thought Arsenal done okay in time. They crumbled after that second goal. When you give that ball to it was a great goal as well. I've got to give him that as well. It was so composed. But once that went in, it was one-way traffic. But they've done okay, Arsenal. They've done okay. They're in good form. they shouldn't get too downhearted by that, because anyone can go there and get beat like that. Anybody, including Manchester United, as they did a couple of weeks ago. You know what I mean? So, shouldn't get too down. I think Arsenal on the way up. To be honest with you, I think he's got the team playing well, and the big easier games than that they're going to play. But I don't think they was that bad up until the second goal, and then after that, I think he crumbled a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I just think I said before the game to Arsenal fans that you just don't want to get beaten badly. There's no shame in going to losing to Liverpool in this stage of your development when Arteta's managed to clearly show something about himself, clearly managed to show the players got a bit about themselves, and clearly managed to show a little bit of progression in the last 10 games after a horrendous start to the season in the first 3 games. But if you do get beat by Liverpool, you don't get your pants pulled down, sort of thing. At least give a good account of it. And I feel like although it was 4-0, I don't think it was enough to. It wasn't bad enough to be like, see, this is why Arteta's crap, and it starts swinging again. Look, he's gone 10 games before that and got some decent results. He's played against arguably the best team in the league, along with Liverpool and Chelsea, and got beat comprehensively. Get back to winning ways, and talking about that, their next batch of games is Newcastle at home. Yes, it's rejuvenated with Eddie Howe, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but they should be all right in that. Then it's our boys on my birthday, December 2nd at Old Trafford. Then Everton away. So there's chances for Arteta to get a bit of calm again, as long as they get a response, and I think they will against Newcastle. They'll be back to business. Do you know what I mean? So
that run of games from you though, we've got you, Everton, then us.
Oh, is it you after that? Is it?
Kind of tough for them, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Actually, yeah. Or actually, Everton, then Southampton they got, and then you.
Oh, then us, yeah.
Yeah, they got Southampton at home, and then you at home.
They always beat us. So.
They do.
They do. Every year we batter them, and we batter and they get a lucky goal, and we come away with a loss. And you come away from there scratching your head. But no, I think there's the demise of Tottenham opens up a door, and I think Arsenal are doing okay. So
it is, and I worry. I do worry. I mean, look, we're going to have Carrick probably in that game. I reckon. I don't think we'll have an interim by then. That's only next week. Was it the week after? I just don't think we will. So I don't know what's going to happen. On my birthday, doing what it's like. We'll be doing content with AFTV with respective games leading up to it. I can't stomach that, mate. I can't, but I might have to, because I'm already not confident. But I haven't even got this week out of the way with Villarreal and Chelsea, let alone the Arsenal game. But yeah, we'll see. Next games I want to talk about is Chelsea. Really, really comfortable against Leicester. Are they title favourites for you, Nick?
No, I don't think they're favourites. I think City are still the favourites. I think City go out by goal scorer in January as well. I mean, you've had that terrible news about Aguero.
Man.
City, which is really sad, yeah. But he's had a decent career. I don't think he's going to...
Amazing career. Yeah.
If it had been in the midst of his career at Man City, then it would have, been more. But I think he's done all right out of it. But yeah, I think they're going to get a goal scorer. I think it's always got to be City. City have got, you see them the weekend, they was unreal. But a goal scorer for them, and it could topple it. But Chelsea are doing really well. I mean, bit cruise control. They'll have some tough games coming up soon, I'm sure. I haven't looked at their fixtures or anything, but they'll have a few grudge matches coming up soon, because they haven't played too many.
Man United's one of them. The next game's Man United, mate.
Man United's one of them. They'll have us soon, and they'll have. I'm sure they've got.
Let me look at their fixtures now. So they've got Juventus next, which is tomorrow. Man United home, then Watford away, then you guys away, and then they got Zenit, and then they got Leeds, then Everton, then Wolves. So it's a bit their next sort of
maybe they haven't
8 games. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, but they'll be cruise. But there's tough times to come, man. Anything can happen, can't it? You know what I mean? But what's impressive about Chelsea is they've done a lot of it in the last few weeks without Lukaku, and he's going to be returning just in time for our game. Lovely.
I thought we were returning this week as well, which is just in time for our game. I've heard. So
yeah, maybe he is. Yeah, maybe he is.
But he'll be back. Yeah, you know he's going to be back. What did you make of Antonio Conte getting his first win? First half, awful against Leeds. Leeds 1-0 up at half time. He does that Antonio Conte thing, which is get into his players. It's all about passion. It's all about come on, show a good account of yourself. The goals they scored weren't amazing. A little bit of luck, but they made their own luck because they changed their type of performance. How'd you see it?
Win's a win, isn't it?
Exactly.
For them, I think win's a win, and I don't think they was fantastic. And that second goal was really lucky. And I'm not
proper.
I'm not a massive Spurs fan, but you see him. He's animated on his touchline and all that. He's got the thing is about it is he's got to try and transfer that to the players. I think he did that a little bit. But they've got a tough bunch of players at Tottenham. You know what I mean? Still, Harry Kane still ain't scoring because everyone's saying
he was unlucky. He was unlucky not to score yesterday. He literally hit off the keeper. It hit the post and the ball.
I know. I saw it.
That's how you know it ain't going for you.
He was unlucky. What's that? Still one goal. We're nearly December. You know what I mean? And
he's having a crazy season because he's got I think 17 goals in all competitions because of all the England stuff going on. In the league for Spurs.
One in the league, yeah. But he has to try and transfer that, and if he can sort of convince the like of Kane, it's worth it again, and there's something going on there. Kane might be convinced to stay, but look, it's a win for him, and he needed that because they was awful last week against Everton. I don't think they was great against Leeds. They need to pick up the performances. Hopefully not before December 22nd when we're playing in the quarter-final of the Cup. But they need to pick up wins, and that a win's a win, isn't it? So,
yeah, it is. It is. And look, for the wins, I think they're going to build under Antonio Conte. My worry with Antonio Conte is that he's a good enough manager, even though Spurs got some fairly average players over the park, but some, a couple of good ones in Son and Kane, and probably Moura. Apart from that, I do think they're quite average. But he's a good enough manager to exploit any form of top four opening. Do you know what I mean? Along with Arsenal, along with Leicester, along with you boys who are doing well right now. Don't want
we won't be up there all season. There's no chance. There's no chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've got too much going on. Unless we, spend 150 million pounds in January, we won't be up there come the end of the season. It's too much for us. So
Jesse Lingard, get that bounce, mate. You know what I mean? January.
Yeah, no. I understand.
I know you mean it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely.
Yeah. So out of them teams there that are left, you look at Conte and say he's good enough to exploit that. Man United have Carrick for a few games, struggling. The interim comes in. It doesn't. We're fighting for top four now as well. So. But Conte is a good enough manager, even with that Spurs team, to exploit any opening, and that's what I think he'll do. I think he'll prove that over the next few games. That again, he can't turn water to wine. He said in an interview with Jeff Reeves, he was like, "I'm not a magician. I can't just wave a wand." And there are still some bang average players in that Spurs side. They're probably not going to play great football. They're probably going to have a lot of games like yesterday. But because he's an organised manager, he gives them half a chance. And you never know. Depends what they do in January. If they can get a couple in. And change it, then that would probably
I think it'll take a couple of transfer windows to get a real team for him, and depends who wants out and who wants in and all that sort of stuff. But no, it's a win's a win. I mean, it'll take a while. There's a lot of sort of dead wood in that team. You know what I mean? So
a lot,
yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
So he needs to sort of wait that out and get some of his better players in, and I think it would take him a while, but maybe they shouldn't expect it. I think Arsenal are more likely than Tottenham this year.
Yeah, but I agree. I would agree.
From next year, summer, I think you'll do all right.
He's a good enough manager to do that, and he's got a good big club. Well, I say big club. People may differ if Tottenham are a big club, but he's got a basis to go and do what he needs to do anyway. He's got a club with a stadium. Yeah, he has. He has got that. City in cruise control against Everton yesterday. 3-0 winners. Absolute cruise control. Like you said, City is still favourites. They're just. It doesn't matter who they play against. It's just so comfortable for them, isn't it? at all times.
Yeah.
Yes, they had the result against Palace where there was a little bit iffy, but they just get back to winning ways straight away, don't they? It's just what they do.
Yeah. Same, similar to Liverpool, really. You know, get beat unexpectedly, then get back on the rails, and of course we've got them next year. I mean, that goal from Rodri was something else, mate. I'll tell you, if that net wasn't there, that'd still be going, I think. But yeah, they're just a good team, aren't they? Just a good side.
Yeah, I think they're not gonna fall off. They're gonna be right up there. And it's almost boring to talk about City. The only time I want to talk about City really is when they lose, because I want to say, is this cracks appearing? You know, maybe this, that, and the other. But it never happens. It never happens. They're just too bloody good. And it annoys me so.
He's like my dad. It's like a grey hair appearing. Once it appears, he sort of like he suffers it for a couple of days and he dyes it out.
That is it. That is the City. That is it. Good analogy, man. They're just a pain in the ass. You know what? We're going to move on because there's nothing to really speak about. Actually, on Everton, though, you know, yes, anyone can lose to City. A lot of people do, but just they haven't been on a good run recently. I think the pressure's on Rafa. Could you see it ramping up?
Yeah, it's got to be, innit? They're not doing well. They're not doing well at all. And obviously, the position he's in, ex-Liverpool manager, they didn't want him in the first place. As soon as there's a crack there, they're going to want him gone. He won't last long. If they get a couple more results like that, he won't last long.
Yeah, well, the last 5 games, they've got 4 losses and 1 draw.
Yeah,
the last 5 games.
He's probably got about 2 games left if he's lucky.
Yeah, exactly, and they have to be wins.
They have to be wins.
Yeah. Going forward, Steven Gerrard got his first win against Brighton. They left it late on, but showed good fight from them. Ollie Watkins with a really good goal in that game. Was you impressed with what you saw, and just in general, Gerrard going there? What's your thoughts and getting his first win?
I said this, for Gerrard, that's a perfect move.
Yeah,
they're not. I don't think Villa are in any danger of going down. They haven't been great of late, but you know, there's been teams much worse than them. They've got a bit of money behind them. They've got a chairman that can spend some money. They're going to be sort of teetering in that middle of the table. Gerrard done fantastically with Rangers. He wants to try himself in the Premier League. That's a perfect club for him. You know, what he didn't want to do is go to like a Norwich or a Newcastle
and be struggling. Exactly.
Struggling. Villa will be all right, and he'll have time, and he'll have a little bit of time there to sort of bed himself in, and you know, there's no pressure really. You know, we've got that, but first win, he's got that. Got that under the belt first game, so. There's not that, but there's going to be questions over Steven Gerrard because he's, you know, relatively new manager. But perfect club for him, and I think they'll do all right this season. I think they'll finish in the upper half of the table.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I really do. I think in an ideal world, you know, Gerrard would have preferred to stay at Rangers for a little bit longer, get some more titles, a bit more experience. But he ain't going to get a club as big as Villa at this point of the season with that squad that they've got, a good basis to work off, great fan base, big club. He ain't going to get that chance. Like you said, he don't want to go fighting out at Norwich, struggling for a win. And Dean Smith got his first win as well.
That size, Flex, where the expectation ain't going to be that high. They've spent the past in the Championship. They're happy to be back in the Premier League. They see a real building structure going on. It's perfect. Anyone would take that job, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And they are actually building a really good squad. Aston Villa. I liked what they did after Jack Grealish with who they bought and what they assembled. And I think it's perfect for Gerrard. Eddie Howe, another new manager, didn't get his first win, 3-3 draw against Brentford. Brentford really needed that bad run. Pardon?
He weren't there, Howe.
Was he COVID? Oh, he got COVID. I didn't even know he wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Okay, but his first game with him being in charge, I didn't know he got COVID. Actually, where was I? I did not see that report. But was it? You can see by the team that he picked. You know, Ryan Fraser back in there. That's his boy. You know, he had Matt Ritchie at Bournemouth, even though he sold him. But you know, he continued to play. Obviously, Callum Wilson's going to play. Was it the reminder that, you know, defensively they're just so bad, but there's enough in there in terms of they can score goals, they can create chances, they've got fight, and a good basis for Eddie Howe to work off.
Yeah, it was a good game. That I would say it was a good game, but up and down, weren't they? Like there's 2-1 up and 3-2 down and back to 3-3. Still haven't won a game, and I think they're. I'll tell you, they've got to do something, because if they don't, they could have all the money in the world. Well, they have got all the money in the world.
They have got all the money in the world,
yeah. But if they're too far away, with especially with Norwich picking up points,
exactly.
and they've got Norwich in a couple of weeks, they could be too far. I mean, you talk to it like you said there. They'll be in for Jesse Lingard. He's sitting at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, why would he want to go there right now?
I think he would. And Jesse Lingard's going to be sitting thinking, I want to go to them as World Cup next year. I might be playing in the Championship. I can't get picked now. So you won't be able to buy anybody, regardless, and then you start, and then that's dangerous, because they start chucking money at people just to try and keep them up. The mercenaries in. I'm not sure Howe was the right person, if I'm honest with you. I think they could have gone a little bit higher than. I think Gerrard, they'd have had to convince him to go, but Gerrard would have been a better. Howe hasn't been in work for a reason. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Time will tell with them, but they've got enough. They've got enough attacking work, but they've got a couple of good players, but a lot of them are top dire defensively. They are
really bad. Really bad. Exactly. And I was with you, Nick. I mean, there was a few people on here on United View that were saying no flex. Pochettino was on one of the other overview shows we done with Darren, and he was, saying that Howe's perfect for them. He kept Bournemouth up a good couple of years, and then it kind of faded, yes, but he did all right. And I was with you. I was like, well, I don't see it. I really worry for him. I really, really worry for him. I mean, they were trying to get Unai Emery in. I think that would have been perfect as well. But people in the comments were sort of saying, no, he needs to. That's too high of a caliber. They need to do baby steps and stuff like that. But not baby steps. They need to get someone who can keep them in this league. And I just thought it might be a bit beyond Eddie Howe. But technically he does have a good record of keeping. Because he kept him up for a couple of seasons, didn't he? On a shoestring budget. But then he spent a lot of money. He spent a lot. He bought Dominic Solanke for 20 million. That didn't work. He spent like 15 million on Jordan Ibe. That didn't work. So it wasn't all rosy. But he did bring in some young players and did develop some. Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson, Billin he's doing well. So I don't know.
And that will help him that he's got them with him.
Yes, exactly. He's got some familiar faces. Just to finish off, Nick, we'll quickly brush over some of these other results that we did see. Patrick Vieira's side got a draw at Burnley. Burnley 3-3, another high scoring game. Burnley are just that team, innit? It's like they look like they're on their asses, and they might be favourites to go down. Sean Dyche just always finds a way with his team.
I think they're very similar. Them and Palace, great one week, terrible the next week, and that just culminated in that game. But another good game. Some really good games this week.
Exactly, a really good game. So interesting to see, and I think Vieira's doing a really good job at Palace. He's starting to get the rewards for that as well. Quickly, Norwich, Southampton. Dean Smith gets his first win, man. You can't ask for more than that, and coming from a goal down as well. You have to rate that.
Yes, he galvanised them. I said last week, on the show, I couldn't see Moses keeping him afloat, but it's I don't know now. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's the great thing about football.
Yeah, it is. I mean, what's that? 2 wins on the bounce now for Norwich. From absolutely struggling. So we'll have to see. Listen, guys, thank you very much for watching. Nicky, thank you very much for coming on, my friend. I'm sure when we play each other, we will see you again. We will be doing some stuff. All the best for the rest of the season. Make sure you guys check out 100%. And the stuff you guys are doing over at West Ham Fan TV, growing really well, doing a lot of stuff. And do you know what? I'm glad you're having a positive season, so it gives you guys a chance. You've done content even when you wasn't doing very well. But what I'm saying is, it's nice to see you guys have a lot of good stuff to talk about, man. It's good to see.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Wicked. Guys, we've got the Michael Carrick presser coming up very, very shortly, and Owen will be going live after that. The content is coming to you guys thick and fast here at United View. We are not stopping. We've got so much to talk about. obviously at Man United, there's a lot going on. So make sure you guys tune into Owen later on this afternoon after Michael Carrick gives his first press conference as interim manager of Manchester United. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. See you guys this afternoon. Nick, big up to yourself. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Cheers, bud.
Nice one. Cheers.
Appreciate it.